Hey everyone, a nerd named Mark here, and it's time to go over episode 9 of King-Ohger. Sorry for the delay, I had a lot going on. My cat is eating her food very obnoxiously and loud, so I apologize for the background noise, but it's time for her dindins, and she likes her dindins. Uh, I was going to do a quick review for The Secret of Rackley's Part 1, but I think I'm going to wait and do that when all three are done and review it as a whole, because it was only 9 minutes, or I'll just do it as a YouTube short. I don't know yet. First off, thank you everyone. I hit 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you as my cat eats even louder now. She is so loud eating. She's cute though. So, but yeah, I thank everyone who's been subscribing to the channel, commenting, and liking. This has been quite the journey over the last 2 years of me getting to express my enjoyment of toku and manga and comics and having you guys along for the ride. I really appreciate that so much, and I'm going to be doing something special for that. Dude, so the episode kind of picks up exactly where episode 8 left off. A little bit of time, like not too much time has passed. So Rackley's is giving the order that, hey, go get Kira's dead body, bring it to me. I want to see that body. And while we had the group, together with Gira hidden away, I had this theory that I talked about that Rackley's purposely missed all the vital organs. Because if he's such a swordsman and this and that, he wouldn't miss unless it was on purpose. And even Gira starts to have that same theory. And I really like that because I was like, yeah, like that's what I'm thinking. Like, how could he miss all these vital organs? So I really like that idea of it. Sorry about that. Cat was attacking my tripod. So what I really liked about this was it was such a retainer heavy episode, getting more depth to one, how they think about the person they're a retainer for, their interactions with each other, because even though everyone decides as a group that we're a team, we're going to protect Gira, and we're in this together, each, like Rita, Dabowski, Himeno, and Yanma, they all decide secretly to convince their retainers to come and nab Gira and bring them back to their kingdom. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And I love the interaction with all of them. The humor was so good because each one of the rulers wanted KingOhger for themselves, and Gira is the one who controlled KingOhger. So we find out through all this that, remember those cocoon things that were beneath each kingdom? Yeah, those are still a thing. And I was like, oh, I forgot about those. I'm sure everyone else did too, because they haven't searched for them or anything. They've been too busy with the trial and the trial by combat and all sorts of stuff to even be like, oh, remember those exploding cocoons that are beneath our kingdom? Those are still there. We should do something about this. Or we could not. And basically now Death Narok decides, hey, now that all three of the Legend Shoe Gods have been awakened and they're in play, time to get them. And time to attack each one of the kingdoms. So all the kingdoms now are being attacked by Ragnarok. And the highlight, so I really like how each, like when they fight as a team, it's cool, the camera, because of that, but I really like when it's solo, each one, like Himeno, Dabowski, so on and so forth, fighting, I guess, a Ragnarok on their own. You get a sense of the personality in the fighting. Himeno, before she even transforms, she's fighting them, nice little twirl. For those of you who like certain things, there's a zoom in of the feet. I noticed with the green screen set up in this and that, no shadow, which kind of threw me off. I was like, wait, isn't there supposed to be a shadow here? I was like, it's like Peter Pan when like the shadow can just, leave and just do whatever it wants. But Death Narok shows up. And so first off, we have Death Narok and Himeno fighting. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool. And the retainers this whole entire time, they're trying to be like, hey, Gira, you're injured. You should go to Ishibana to be looked at and make sure you're fully healed up. All the retainers are finding these obnoxious ideas and ridiculous ways to trick Gira to go to their kingdom. And the interaction, very humor-filled. And I like it. There's a balance to it with the humor and the action. We see, because they see that, Himeno's fighting Death Narok. They're like, okay, Ishibana's no good. Let's go to Nikosapa. And so they go there, and we have the taller retainer from Rackley's, and some of the Shugodan guards are there. And we see that they're trying to sneak by because they all have disguises on. And I guess Gira's disguised as a genius middle schooler who has a 2,000 or 20,000 IQ, and it works. And I'm like, okay. And then obviously whenever the Bugnarak show up, like they just go to the next one. So they go to Tofu next. But meanwhile, what I was really hoping for, because it wasn't touched on yet, was what did Dabowski see when he snuck away into Shugodan Castle? And, because Rackley shows up in person to confront him. And because he thinks that maybe he's the one who made off with Gira's body in hopes of somehow obtaining Gira's power from his dead body. And I'm like, how would that even work? Would he cook him? Because would he plant him in the ground? Is he Archimedes? Is he trying to like make a Gira tree? I don't know how that would have worked. So I found that interesting. But we find out that Dabowski, when he was being sneaky, he saw the King-Ohger Zero, which obviously we saw and all stuff from the Secrets of Rackley's episode 1 special. And, Dabowski was even like, well, I mean, if there was a certain rumor and this and that, and he's like, well, if that was there, he basically threatened Dabowski that he knows this information. I'm starting to think less and less of my theory that Rackley's is working with the Bugnarok and Deathnarok because, one, from the special, and two, just the convenience of the timing isn't really there anymore because now Deathnarok actually shows up at Tofu and confronts Dabowski. And once again, like I said, this fighting style of each person is so different and unique. I really enjoy it. It's so enjoyable right now. I love it. And once again, the retainers with Gira. And my new Morphonia is not a part of this whole entire time, which is very intriguing because we got Morphonia in this episode, and she hasn't been in a couple episodes since the trial. And so when all the other retainers are arguing of what to do with Gira and arguing with each other because they all figure out that, hey, they're trying to steal Gira, Morphonia shows up, arrests him, and brings him back to Gokhan. And one of the best scenes in this episode from a humor standpoint, Morphonia has Gira's King-Ohger caliber, and she's sitting up there in the throne area where Rita would be, and just pretends and mocks and imitates Rita, even tapping on the Ohger caliber onto the ground and this and that. And I thought it was actually really funny because you get more Morphonia's personality, and even through the other retainers talking with her and this and that, you find out the dynamic a bit too, because while they are retainers for the person, Morphonia doesn't see herself as a retainer or a helper. She even says she's less of a retainer and more of a potential successor to Rita. And I was like, so Morphonia has these goals where maybe she wants to be the leader of Gokhan? And even Gira brings up this whole entire thing, like, hey, you guys think you guys are these supporters, but really the Rita and all them, they're the ones who are supporting you. You're never the one who asks how are they doing or how can I help. So I was like, oh, it's a little role reversal there, and got them all thinking of really their dynamic of their relationship with the leader of their kingdom, which I thought was really nice that we're getting so retainer heavy of a story right now, because that's something I've been intrigued about. Like, the only one who really had any good backstory for is Sebastian. So we find out that Deathnarok, because he keeps showing up and now fighting Rita, that basically all of them have been taken out. Because we also have the big bad, large Bugnarok showing up. Gira finally decides to enter into the fray and summons King-Ohger, which leads to a nice battle. And Bata shows up again. And I always like that he communicates with the Shu Gods so much, but he kind of translates for us because we don't get to see what they say. And I guess Bata was looking for Sasserine, their beloved. And I'm like, oh, and even Gira's like, wait, your beloved? And I'm like, wait, is there a little thing going on with these Shu Gods? Because, like, I thought Sasserine was kind of simping for the god Kabuto. And now we have Bata calling Scorpy beloved. So I'm like, I don't know what this whole triangle of love is going on with these Shu Gods. So we got to look at the final, like, King-Ohger form with one of the legend Shu Gods on there. And the Bata attaches to the chest and then the lower part of the legs. And it was a really quick fight. explosive hug, as I'm calling it, almost like a. I thought it was kind of like a maybe like a bug zapping chest, but hugs and explodes the Bugnarok. Even Morphonia, we get the explosion reflecting in the glasses, and Morphonia's like, "Well, that's one way to do it, I guess." And um, the episode kind of leaves on that a really good cliffhanger. Like, and usually cliffhangers are they're a thing, but like this was a really good one because we see everyone has fallen to Death Narok, retainers included. Gira and Morphonia are the only ones left, and Gira is now going to be facing off with Death Narok, and that's what we're getting in the next episode. And I was like, damn, this was a good episode. Mainly because like it's not the best in the season. Like now we're getting more story, more character driven stuff. So this isn't at like the best episode in the series. But I will say I really enjoyed being so heavily focused on the retainers. Obviously, this arc that's going on is still really focused on Gira and the Legend Shoe Gods. So I'm curious where that's going to continue and where that's going to go, especially because the preview showed all three of the Legend Shoe Gods combined with King-Ohger. So that's really cool. I'm really enjoying the show still. It's really good. As you can see, I have my mini pla. Ooh, I hit the mic. Sorry about that. My mini pla for King-Ohger right here. I do have a review video up on the channel. If you haven't already, go check that out. But yeah, that's it for my review of episode 9 of King-Ohger. I'm loving the show, honestly. It's, like I said, even though this was my favorite episode, or the best episode of the season so far, it's still a really good episode. And I really want to learn more about the retainer, especially Morphonia, because now I'm wondering what the dynamic is. How would she be a successor to Rita? And we did get some funny moments with Rita in this episode as well. Headbutting Gira to kind of get him to be like, hey, why are you trying to go back up to Rackley's? And then, like, so, we're getting moments. Everyone had, like, little moments to shine. But this was really the retainers that really were at the forefront. But that's it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of episode 9 of I almost said Kamen King-Ohger. Let me know in the comments below what you think of episode 9 of King-Ohger. And I thank you guys for watching. Yeah, that's it for the video. So I'll see you guys in the next one.